What's happening? This is Brian Dawkins, and you're tuning in to The LOFT.
Has brought out the best of me.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to The LOFT. If you guys are new here, please like, comment, subscribe. If you're not new, welcome back. Today I have a very special guest. I got an intro for you, brother.
Oh, man.
Nothing too crazy, but I had to give you an intro. I mean, I've been following your stuff for a while, and you have a big fight coming up.
Yes, sir.
So I'm excited to talk about that. Ladies and gentlemen, our next guest is an athlete, a up-and-coming MMA fighter with an MMA pro record of 2-0, amateur record of 6-0. He has an upcoming fight coming up on the 2nd.
Yes, sir.
Yep. December 2nd through Cage Wars. Ladies and gentlemen, Gunnar Spain.
Pleasure to be here, guys. Thanks for having me. This is awesome.
No worries, man.
This is the best podcast I've done yet, I think.
Yeah?
Oh,
hell yeah. Hell yeah. I appreciate that. Dude, I've been seeing all your stuff. I'm good friends with Dan, Candelaria. And yeah, I really wanted to get into like your upcoming fight and everything that goes into like being a fighter, because I know that it takes the consistency, time, and effort to like train your body as well. And I know you mentioned like you're going down to 155. You were just at 170 your last fight, right?
No, as an amateur, I was fighting 170. As soon as I turned pro, I started fighting 155. You
stayed down like that?
Yep, I got to.
What was the thought process behind that?
So when I was an amateur, man, I fought, I think, of my 6 fights, 4 of the dudes were 6'4", with an 8-inch reach advantage on me. Wow. So it was wrestling and then get them down. And then as an amateur, you can't strike to the face on the ground. Yeah. So it was a lot of just wrestling, jiu-jitsu wise, and it's just to get that height advantage away from them, because their striking is going to be so much longer than mine. I got to do something to counteract that. So as soon as I turned pro, as an amateur, like I could get away with being a better fighter and fighting bigger guys. Yeah. As a pro, these guys are on the same level as me, like athletic wise or like fighting wise. So I need to even the playing field with cutting that weight down and getting guys my size. Even though some of them are still way bigger than me. But
so let me ask, how old are you right now?
22.
22. And then when did you start?
MMA or fighting?
Fighting. We'll go right to the beginning.
Whew. Like 5 and 6.
Oh, really?
I was doing boxing smokers, like
really, and
people's like backyards and like gyms and just random places when I was a little kid.
Really?
Had my first, I guess, like on the books fight when I was 8. I was fighting boxing, doing the Golden Gloves, different stuff like that. I remember my favorite thing is when I was younger, I was fat. I was a little chubby kid. So when I was 8, I was I think I was like 114 or something. Yeah. Fighting for the Muay Thai World Championships, like out in Des Moines, Iowa, and I had to bump up to the 10-year-old weight class because I was just too big for the 8-year-olds. So I was like fighting 10-year-olds as an 8-year-old. It's like my whole life I've just been fighting bigger dudes, older dudes. Like it's just how it is when you're young in the game.
Yeah. And so you are coming out of, you said Levittown?
Yes, sir. Levittown, Pennsylvania. Nice. Moved down to Philly for school. So I'm studying at Drexel, wrestling for Drexel.
Oh, it's right.
And then moved over to Marquez MMA right over here.
That's awesome. So. Yeah, shout out to them. Yeah, it's awesome. So when you got into it in the beginning, was there someone that pushed you to it, or were you just like, yo, I'm just like kind of interested in seeing how it goes?
Yeah, when I was young, my dad was a boxer. Okay. And me and him would, like, growing up, we would watch the UFC fights, watch all the boxing fights and stuff like that. And UFC was on the rise. Like, everyone, it was hot. And everyone's like, this is the thing to get into. Yeah. So just, like, growing up, we were watching that. And then there was a karate gym. Like, I could walk to it from my house. Yeah. And as soon as I was, like, 4 years old, that's when I started, like, training. And then, like, eventually down the line, started with, like, karate, Muay Thai, and boxing. And, like, I'd come down there, and then I'd come down to the city for boxing all the time when I was younger. But that was just, like, my dad we had a bag in the gym. Like, we had in our garage. And, like, me and him would hit pads, work on the bag, and then it was, like, I need more. And then we went to the gym, and then we just kept evolving from there, just get to a better spot, to the better spot, to a better spot until I'm here where I'm at with some of the best guys in the world.
That's that's exciting. When did you become pro?
When I was 21, I turned pro. So it was 18, senior in high school, halfway through my senior year. It was like wrestling season ended. 2 months after that, I had my first MMA fight as soon as I turned 18, like a month after I turned 18.
Is that when you were allowed to?
Yeah.
Okay.
So in the state of Pennsylvania, you have to be 18 to be an MMA fighter.
Okay.
So it was like, as soon as I turned 18, I was like, I'm ready. Like I trained my whole life for it. I had 18 boxing and Muay Thai fights between the ages of like 6 and 18.
Oh, wow.
So I've been doing that forever, and I was competing in jiu-jitsu, wrestling, like my whole life. So the whole goal was like, as soon as I turned 18, I was ready to fight. And that's what I did. And then had my 6 fights, did well. And
that's right.
It was, after you get to like 6-0 as an amateur, people don't want to fight you anymore. They think like, you're at like that breaking point where it's like, is it really worth fighting this guy? Like he's gonna turn pro soon.
Yeah.
So like that's when we made the decision. Talked to my coaches, and they're like, yeah, we think you're ready. And that's when I turned pro.
That's right.
21.
So when it goes from, because amateur is you need to wear like guards and stuff, like shin guards and all that, and like is there headgear involved as well, or no?
Not headgear. So as when you first start out, your first 3 in PA, it's usually 3. You have to wear shin guards. That's it. So it's like the regular attire, mouthpiece, gloves, shin guards, and a cup. And then once you get to 3 fights, it's usually like if you have a winning record, or if the commission says like, yeah, we think you're ready to go, you can do what they call like advanced amateur rules. Yeah. And it's just like a regular pro MMA fight, except you're not allowed to like kick to the head or elbow to the face, like standing. Right. And like you still can't punch to the face on the ground. Depending on what state you're in, advanced amateurs can punch to the face on the ground. But there's just like little rules like that when you're an amateur. So like, I think they're just like, looking out for the
for the safety. Yeah, for sure. And so when you went pro, obviously that's all gone now, right?
Oh yeah. So this is like you watch on MMA on Saturday night, watching UFC events, full bore, elbow to the face. Like it gets gruesome. Like it's dirty. Like,
so talk me through when was your first pro fight?
So I was 21.
So it was around a year ago, essentially.
Yeah. Probably a little bit more than that.
Okay.
Maybe was I? Man, I don't even remember my own career.
You're focused always on to the next thing, you know.
Yeah, I'm always looking forward, always looking ahead.
So the reason why I asked is like, so I want to kind of like go like pick your brain about like that first pro fight, because obviously those rules are out the window now, and you're going into it like knowing that there's a lot more risk involved. So like, what was going through your mind when you were doing that for your first pro fight?
I don't know if anything really changed too much. I mean, when we're in the gym, we practice full gear all the time. So like when I was fighting amateur, I'd have to hold myself back in the ring. Okay. So like when we're training, like I'm ready for a pro MMA fight all the time. Like we're training the punches, we're training the kicks, we're training the elbows. Like, so I'm always ready. But the first one was definitely a big difference. Like I don't know if the thought process was much different, but the experience is a lot different. Like when you're an amateur, you're going from 3 3-minute rounds, and now it's 3 5-minute rounds.
Okay, so that's a whole.
So that was like the biggest change for me. Like when I first stepped in there, I was like, all right, my cardio is good, my health is good, I'm mentally where I want to be. Like I'm ready for this fight. They add 2 minutes to every round. It's draining. Like it's mentally, physically, that toll it takes. You're not ready for it. Like you can't train like to be under the lights. Like even like I had 2 belts as an amateur, 1 defense of one of them. Like you think you're ready like for that pro, like you're good. It's a different game. Like it changes everything. Like once you're under the lights, everybody's there. My first pro fight's a bigger arena, more people, more of my friends are coming, more of my family's there, more people are there in general. So like it's just a whole different like it's just a different game when you're in that. That first pro fight was definitely
I can only imagine, because they say like you'll watch like fights on TV and you'll see like when guys get into the bright lights when it's their time, they kind of shut down, like that was adrenaline dump, right?
Yeah, deer in the headlights, adrenaline dump. Like it's that fight or flight. So like it's either you're ready or you're not. Like it hits people hard.
Right. Yeah, I was gonna ask, there's nothing you can really do to prepare for that, right?
No.
You just kind of have to go through it, right?
Yeah, you just gotta take it when it comes.
How did you win your first fight?
Decision. Yeah, all my fights have been by decision. I haven't. Yeah. I just
gonna get that knockout soon or what? Come on,
I'm trying. Like I know you can't be chasing the knockout, but we're looking for. I'm looking for a finish. I'm looking for a submission. So. Yeah.
Is there ever fights you go into where you want to chase the knockout, or you're just like, or you try to go by a game plan, a set game plan?
I like to try to stick to a game plan. My coaches tell me that I fight more conservatively, and like I'm trying to not get out of that habit. Yeah. Because when you're in there, like, you want to win. So, like, you want to take every precaution you can to win the fight.
Right.
But you also don't want to have a boring 15-minute fight and everyone's like, I don't want to watch this kid again. Like, he sucks. He's boring. Like, that, and that's, like, the fine line you got to tread. Like, you want to be, like, knocking people out, having fun, doing whatever. And so people want to come watch you fight. But then you also don't want to lose because you did something stupid. You're like, did a crazy high kick and you get, so like,
and is there anything you do to contribute to Gunnar Spain's, like, because you know how you have fighters, like, you have fighters that you look up to, like the McGregors of the world and all them, like all these amazing fighters always have like that edge to them that make them interesting and fun to watch. Is there anything that you have that makes you fun, interesting to watch or to prepare for?
I mean, you know, I think I try to be as charismatic as possible.
Yeah.
This is I love doing this kind of stuff. This stuff's awesome. This is pretty professional setup we got going on here.
Appreciate
this is awesome. I haven't done anything too flashy yet. I think you gotta kind of work your way into being the Conor McGregor. Like, Conor McGregor didn't start out, like, his first couple fights in UFC being Conor McGregor. Like, he was there, but, like, once he knocked a few dudes out, like, showed himself, then you act like this. And it's like, I think I'm working myself into that. Like, you got to get to the point where it's like, all right, this guy can talk some shit. Like, he can say what he wants to say, run his mouth a little bit, pull the Colby Covington in Brazil type thing. Like, but you got to be at that point. Like, I don't like running my mouth too much yet, or like trash talking right now. I think people come and watch me fight because I do put on interesting fights. Right. Like, when I do go, like, I have gone the full time every time. It's down, like, it's fun the whole time. People like to watch me fight. People like to like my style. Like, I'm interesting the whole time, in my opinion. I don't know. People tell me they like to watch me fight, so I guess other people like it. Yeah. They like the hat, they like the cowboy thing, they like all of that. They like the country, so I got in a good time with the whole Western thing popping off right now. Everyone likes that. Yeah, I'm coming out the country. Everyone, so it's a vibe. It's fun. Yeah, it's cool.
It's a vibe. Do you have a fighter that you look up to?
Oh, I mean, there's so many. Pat, I mean, we were talking about Pat earlier. Training with him, he's definitely a great guy to look up to. One of the most humble guys I've ever met in my life. He's one of the best fighters I've ever met in my life. He just all around is a great guy and a great fighter. Just like takes a loss stoically, like takes wins in strides. Like, the dude, he's just like an idol right now. And it's amazing that I get to train with him all the time. So like, it's fantastic. I mean, all the guys at the gym, Joe coming from where he came from, doing what he's doing now, like making a name for himself, knocking dudes out, really like bringing up the gym. Sean, like, they're all fantastic guys to look up to and train with, and it's like I'm just blessed and lucky to be in this situation.
And those are the guys at Marquez, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Is there anything you've taken from anyone, either specifically or as a whole, that like you take into your own routine or your own mentality, your own, on your own game?
I mean, I like to look at it as a whole. Like, I mean, everybody watches every fighter. Like, you take things from everybody. Like, I like to watch. Everyone loved Khabib. Everyone loved, like, his takedowns to his leg laces. Like, he'd take a guy down, hug the leg, and then he can crawl up and knock the guy, like, finish the guy. I'm trying to incorporate that. GSP had this phenomenal jab. Wonder Boy has this nice jumpy stance where he's always fluid and moving, and he can get a lot of kicks in. Like, it's hard to put it all together, but if you can, like, I try to take things from everybody. Like, that's really how I look at the game. Like, if you're not because the game's now totally different than what it was last year, the year, like 10 years, like, it's a totally different game, and you have to be good at all aspects of the sport, and you have to be evolving in all aspects of the sport at the same time. So, like, you can't just be good at one thing. You got to take the guys that are good at that thing, see what they're good at, and then, like, try to mash it all together. And that's like, that's the thing right now. Like, I'm looking at everybody, looking at what's working, what's not working, taking it all in and just trying to incorporate all of it.
Without giving anything away, obviously, is there anything in your game that you feel like is like a huge strength of yours that you like kind of built on top of?
For sure. So, like, starting with my karate, Muay Thai background, I love kicking. Like, I might not have, like, the physique you think of a normal Muay Thai guy, like, on the shorter end, stockier end. You see a lot of, like, skinnier, lankier Muay Thai guys. But my inside kicks with my front leg, they're my favorite thing to throw. Inside kicks. I mean, it doesn't matter if my guy watches this because you can watch all my fights. I'm throwing that inside kick to over right hand and double legging you, and you're not stopping it. So there's nothing you
can
do.
Talk your shit, kid. Talk your shit.
You're not stopping the over right hand to the double leg. So and that's what I base my lot. Like it just evolves from there. Then like the movement, the angles, taking different shots. Like it's just all based off of that inside kick, right hand, double leg, and then whatever we're doing.
You do a lot of studying with like your dad and stuff in your family.
We did a few. I mean, it's a lot with the coaches now. Growing up, it was a lot with my dad and my mom. You know, my biggest supporters. They've been there since the beginning. But now it's a lot with the coaches. We have phenomenal coaches. Like even the other fighters on the team, like we all help each other out. So like we'll mimic each other's fighters. We'll do whatever we can to help each. We all watch each other's fighters. We'll help each other out. And
that's awesome.
So really.
So what would you say like the biggest contribution to like your support system has been? Because I know, especially someone on a journey like yours, it's so important to have people who support you. What do you think they've contributed so far to your journey that's really helped you?
Ooh, I was kind of thinking about this on the way here. I mean, outside of my mom and my dad always supporting me and helping me out, like being there all the time, working through everything with me, the highs, the lows when I was younger, doing everything. Like my support base, like my friends and everyone that comes out and supports and watches me fight, I think that's a big difference between me, like being a 2-0 fighter with like being able to get the opportunities that I get compared to other like fighters that might even have a better record than me, because I come out in force, I come out in numbers. People want to come watch me fight. Promotions are willing to give me more, do more for me, like help me out more, whatever that is, because I have like such a like supportive and like following that come with me everywhere I go. Like without them, I wouldn't have the opportunities I would have. So like, thank you to all my supporters. That's like awesome. That's without you guys, I wouldn't be in the positions I'm in. Like without them, I wouldn't have gotten those title shots. I wouldn't have gotten like they're a big help.
That's awesome. Do you have a moment so far in your career that's like a huge highlight for you?
Oh, I mean, they're all different. I like each one had a different meaning to me. So like, I don't know if I could pick out one because I haven't had that big knockout. I haven't had that. Like,
I hate superlatives, but I always feel like in anyone's journey, there's always like a moment where they're like, oh, like this is like I'm getting there. Like you're you know what I mean?
I think I don't know if I would say I'm getting there, but I think not my favorite, but the one where I was like, all right, it's all worth it so far was probably my first amateur MMA fight. Really? Like, because that was a big deal for me. Like I was 18, I was young, and like I was training my whole life to do this. So like, once I finished and I won like majority draw, majority decision, whatever. It was like, all right, everything I've literally trained the last 14 years of my life for was worth it. Like, and like, just after that, it was just like, all right, we can do this. Like, there's no reason to stop. Like, you have what it takes. You can do this. And then like, just from there on, and then probably like the first pro fight too, like winning that one's like the same thing. Once you turn pro, it's like, you get the doubt, the whatever, like whatever in the back of your mind, like you're like, do I still got it? Do I still have it? Like, you do it and you win and you're like, all right, we're good. Like, is there anything you can do to prepare? Obviously, when you have to prepare for the fight itself, but when those doubts creep in, is there anything you can do for yourself to kind of remind yourself that you're supposed to be here? So I read a lot of not a lot of books, but I like to read. I really like the Stoic philosophy.
Yeah, Dan said the same thing. Stoicism, right?
Dude, it's a great like idea. Like the readings of it. Like you have a couple books back there, but like the daily Stoic meditations by Marcus Aurelius. Like these dudes so long ago were facing the same problems we had now, and like they didn't have any of this stuff, like all this fancy tech and all this. Like they were just looking in like on existential problems and like trying to deal with it. And I just like the idea of like controlling the controllables. I like to say to myself, like I can only control what I think and what I feel. So if I have that thought of doubt, or if I have that disbelief in myself or something, you take that. I realize like, hey, okay, well, why are we thinking this? Like what's going on in my life happening right now at training or whatever it is? Why am I feeling that way? evaluate it, like write it down, do whatever I got to do, and then fix it. Like, because the only person who's gonna think in your brain is you. So like, I have to control my thoughts. So like, if I have that thought, think, like, okay, why do I have this thought? And then
attack it head on.
Yeah, just go after it, and then like, just that's what we're talking about, self belief. Like you can see it. You can think it, but then you got to fix that thought. Like, get after
Act
it.
on it. Is there anything you actively practice to help with that?
I mean, I like the readings. I like to write down like a little book, either at the end of every day or in the morning, or just something spurs into my brain at any moment. Like I'm in class, or whatever, have my book bag. I always have this little book with me. I like to write it down. Just like, all right, what's this thought? Is it good? Is it bad? And then just think about it. Write it all the way out. Just fully write it out. Just like, oh, why am I feeling bad today?
Like a journaling almost, right?
Like a journaling.
Yeah. And how do you balance the class and then the training and then, preparing for a fight? Because I know class in school, especially at Drexel, is a whole other game,
Yeah. People like to act like 24 hours isn't enough time in the day. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of time if you really can take use of it. 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there. Like you just always like, I don't know if it's just like my mentality, like growing up from my dad, but like I have to be working hard, or I have to be doing something. So like I'll go to class, I'll go to work, go to practice, like whatever I got to do, like I take it head on. And I think like the other thing I like to do is like, if I'm doing something, that's 100% that at the time, and like I'll have that time for
like you're very present.
Yeah, so like you gotta be, like, if I'm in class, I'm in class, nothing else. And then if I'm practicing, I'm practicing. Like, and I think that is where a lot of people go astray. Like they'll be in class like thinking about something else. They'll be at practice thinking about class. I'll be at class like when I'm doing something, like you got to focus on that one thing 100%,
right? And
then you can move on to the next thing. Like I think that is a very helpful thing that I've kind of developed into. Like just whatever you're doing, 100% of it, like give you 100% of yourself at that time to that thing. And like you'll be surprised where people take 4 or 5 hours to do something. Like if you give 100% of yourself at that time, you'll get it done in that hour. And you just save 3 hours doing
bullshit.
Like you can do something else. So like you just got to get after it during the time.
That's a really good point. And where did that come from, you think? Like that mentality? Because obviously when you're younger, your mind's all over the place. You want to do everything. Like say, for example, for yourself, I want to be the best. I want to do this. Like, so like you're just like, you're so focused, or you're so all over the place. What is there anything or anyone that's like giving you advice to like help you, or where did that even come from, that mentality, like to stay focused on one thing at a time, 100%?
I mean, I think just growing up, my dad, he helped me out a lot. It was always me and him. He was at every practice. He was at everything. So like me and him we'd go to practice together. And then, I mean, he wasn't practicing, but like he was watching, like since I was young. And then on the way home, we would have our talks. Like we'd talk about life, talk about everything, talk about practice. Like he's helped a lot. I think the different like philosophy books I read helps a lot. Yeah. Like just different guys at the gym. Me and Pat have had some talks, and like he's helped me out mentally through the game. I trained a lot when I was younger with Eddie Alvarez, and he was a big help. He taught me a lot of things about the game, just about life in general. So like there's a few people that really helped me through it.
Yeah. Is there anything that stands out between all of them that you've been told by any of them? Because obviously they're all very notorious in what they're doing, and they do a very good job at it. But like, a lot of times you get advice from people, and certain things resonate differently with people. So I'm just curious as to what really resonated with you.
I mean, there's a thing I think a lot of people know or maybe don't know, but like it is really like it is a tough game. Like it is a tough sport, and you gotta look out for yourself first and foremost. Yeah, and that's what you hear a lot from these top guys. Like make sure you're good. Like no matter what it is, like if it's at training or if it's you're doing the paperwork, you're signing a contract with somebody, like you got to make sure you're putting yourself first, so you're helping out you, and then like as long as you're good, then everybody you're with is good. Right. So like watching, that's what they all kind of say, like make sure you're protecting yourself and looking after yourself. And then because like you don't know, like the people out there, it's a tough game. It
can be a little shady sometimes, for sure. Yeah,
you gotta make sure you're looking good. But I mean, luckily, everyone I've been dealing with, they've been good guys. So like nice. I haven't seen anything too dirty. So.
Right. Yeah, and you're still fresh in your career. And speaking of career, do you have any long-term goals that you have for yourself?
Oh, for sure. I mean, everyone wants to be world champion. I will be the 155 UFC world champion. Yeah. Like that shit. Clip it. Like I 100% believe that wholeheartedly. Like the manifested into the world, whatever you got to do. Yeah. Like I truly believe that like no matter how long it takes, like that's my goal. Like there's nothing gonna get in my way to stopping that. That's right. And do
you ever think about it like that happening in your head? Like do you ever like replay that in your head all the time?
Like a couple of days ago, my friend was just asking like kind of like the same question. He's like, so like what's going on? Like what are you gonna do with it? And I told him the same thing. And he's like, you really like you believe that? And I was like, he's like, you really like said that? He was like, you said that with your chest. Like you believe what you just said. And I was like, of course I believe. Like if I don't believe, why would anybody else believe in me? So like I gotta believe in myself first, and then everyone else. I'll make everyone else believe.
Right. Yeah. That's a good point. And because a lot of times you have these goals out in your head, and then people are like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, right. Like how many times has Eddie Alvarez probably said that, and then he ended up fighting McGregor? Or like how many times has Sabatini said that, and he ended up fighting on a huge card? Mm-hmm. So it's like it's funny because I firmly believe that. In the beginning, it's super, super important to find your support system like you have. And then you just build on top of that because everyone else just kind of comes in because in the beginning, no one wants to see you succeed until you do. Yeah. And then once you start succeeding, it's like, oh shit, I should have been on that bandwagon a minute ago. You know what I mean? And that's like where like we kind of mentioned before, like your self-belief comes in. And like, I feel like that is super important, especially in the fight game. Cause that's, I mean, would you say it's probably more mental, right? Than physical?
It's 80% mental. Yeah. Like if you step into that cage with any doubt in your mind, like this, I think this guy might beat me. You're going to lose that fight. Like you have to go in there knowing that today's my day and I'm gonna beat this guy. Yeah. Like as soon as you start thinking like, I'm a little tired. I hurt myself during camp. Something's not feeling right, or this guy's really good at this one thing. He's gonna take me down. Whatever. You already lost the fight. The fight's lost. Right. Like you lost that fight before you even stepped into that cage. So you gotta win the fight here before you even. I haven't even met the guy yet, and like you gotta know you're winning that fight before you meet the guy. Right. Like, and saying this is all self-belief stuff. Like anything can happen, but like you gotta believe it before it ever happens. Yeah, and that puts you in that comfortable like vibe when you're playing and we're fighting. You know what I mean? It makes you comfortable in the cage because I'm sure like a lot of people can kind of like get like they tighten up or get nervous and stuff like that. And so this fight, what's your prediction? Oof. Oh. I was thinking about this. I didn't know what I was gonna say. I don't know how I'm feeling yet. I'm going for a submission any rounds. I'm thinking so the guy's shown himself to be susceptible to submissions. Okay. We're gonna go for some submissions. Okay. First round, second round. I don't want to say anything. I'm looking for this one thing that he does. Okay. And whenever he shows it, I'm pouncing on that hard.
That's so I'm gonna be there watching it. So I'm DJing it. So it'll be a good time, man. Now I'm really excited. And so like. Really quickly, I want to get into like, so like family. So obviously you have your dad,
my mom,
and then
my sister,
mom, and you have your younger sister. Okay. So what does your mom think about all this?
She was, for her when I was little, it was rough. She would she would support still, but she would come to the fights and like we'd touch hands and then she'd be like, and stop looking. Now she's kind of grown into it, like. Yeah, it helps when you win.
Yeah, well, she sees how much you put into it as well.
She sees all the effort I put in, and then like, I haven't luckily gotten too banged up in any of my fights. Yeah. So like, for her it's okay. Yeah, and she's kind of loves the game now. Like, she loves it almost probably as much as I do at this point. Yeah. So she loves it. My dad's always loved it. Like he was he's a dog. Like he's growing up. He was just a mean dude. So he loves the fight game. And my sister is a huge support. Like my whole family. Like without them, like that's how I couldn't do any of it. But they all love it now. Like my sister's like she's the crazy one. Between me and her. So like she used to train and stuff. Like she probably could have been a badass if she kept with it, but like she wanted to do other stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, they all love it now. Like it's kind of funny, like how
hype.
much like how hype they get.
That's really cool. Then they're obviously going to be there at the fight, right?
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
My mom and my sister will.
That's
my
hype.
My dad can't make this one.
Okay.
He's a little ill right now. So.
Yeah. Is he gonna? Well, they do an amazing job live streaming it, right?
Yeah, Stimulus. They're doing a great job. All my other fights they were charging Stimulus. Shout out to them because they do it for free.
Oh,
so
really?
Everybody can watch. So like that's huge. So like anybody that wants to watch me fight or the whole card, look on Stimulus, grab that link and it's for free. So you guys can really get after
send me that link, send me everything. And then so where's the fight at?
Rivers Casino.
Rivers Casino.
Right here in Philly.
What time's the card start?
So doors open at 6. Fight start at 7, and I'm the main event.
You're the main event. Let's go, fucking
baby.
go. Gunner
go.
Spain. Listen, man, December 2nd, Gunner Spain's fighting at Rivers Casino. Main event. He's going for a submission. I would love to see a little knockout.
We'll try it. Up against the cage.
I wish I could bet on it. No, but dude, thank you so much for coming on the pod, man. Is there anything? So I guess I'll end off on this as well. So you've been this fight. I didn't even want to ask you what like your in life what your goal is, because obviously I know it's to be a champion. But so for people who are, who have been pursuing something for a long time, you dedicated your life to this.
Yeah.
Is there any like piece of advice that you've kind of had in your mind? Like, is there a common theme that you've had that you've always taught yourself, or something you've learned along the way that's really helped you get to this point?
Yeah, I mean, there's this like kind of cliche kind of little saying, but it's like hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. And just like that idea, just like if you're not good at it now, like nobody was good at something when they first started. Like I've been doing it since I was 4. Like I didn't get good at fighting in a year. Like maybe if you're John Jones, you could do it in a year, whatever. Like when he was 22-year-old world champion. But like it's anything you do in life takes time.
Yeah.
And if you really want to do it, just keep doing it over and over and over again until you've made every mistake, and then you can't make that same mistake because you know it already.
Right.
Like you just keep pursuing it, like, and that's it. Like that's my whole life was just I just kept doing it until I was good at it. Like I'm no special talent. Like I'm 5'9", 155 pounds when I'm in the cage. Like so like I'm not no specimen. I'm not some superhero. Like I'm just a regular kid who put the work in and is just reaping the benefits now. Like I'm not anything crazy, but like it takes time. Like you got to just get after it and put the work in. That's it.
I mean, he's being humble, but he's a very talented kid. He's dedicated his life to this, and honestly, dude, like I think that's awesome, great advice, because that is very true. And I could tell how hard you work, and you're going to a workout after this, so it's like it just goes to show. And dude, like I said, I'm in your corner, brother. Like I can't wait to see this fight. I can't wait to see how far you go with this. And honestly, also shout out to all those people that's been supporting him throughout his journey, because man, that support system, man, I'm sure that helps you so much.
So much.
But Gunner, I'm so excited for this fight, man. Like I said, December 2nd, Rivers Casino. Let's go, Gunner.
Let's go.
Get that dub, baby. 3-0. How you doing? All right, man. So hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Loft. I'm Kevin Nichols. That's Gunner Spain. Peace, guys. Peace.
See you.